Assist you sell way smarter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special live real estate market update for Reno Sparks. This is going to be for February 2021. It's good to be with you this evening. We'll get right to the numbers here in just a second. Before we do, I want to do a couple of housekeeping information items. Number one, this is for the greater Reno Sparks area only. Reno Sparks goes as far north as, Spanish Springs, Palomino Valley over in Reno, goes as far north as Cold Springs, Stead, all the north valleys out there. Goes as far west as Verdi, Mogul, Somerset, all the northwest Reno area. And of course as far south as East Lake, Washoe Valley, Pleasant Valley, Galena, Double Diamond, DeMonte, etc. So that does not cover, I repeat, does not cover Carson City, Minden, Gardnerville, Dayton, Fernley, Fallon, and outlying communities. So again, this is a 30,000 foot macro view, just to give you a general idea of what's happening here in this crazy real estate market we have here in Reno Sparks. But if you want to know more information about a specific property, maybe it's your home you're thinking about selling, maybe you're looking at buying a home, and you just want to get more facts, figures, statistics, want to know what your home may sell for in this market, we're happy to help you out. You can go over to our website. It's for the number 4, RENO homes.com, for renohomes.com, and you can find information about selling your home, but also fill out this form right here, right in the middle. It says find out now, and give us your address and we'll get to work. We'll find out exactly what your home is worth, give you a good idea of market times, trends, and what's going, because every price range is different, every neighborhood is different. First, you may have heard this before. Let's talk about what kind of market we're in. You probably heard the term seller's market, buyer's market, neutral or stable market. So a buyer's market is when there are more sellers than buyers, meaning there's a ton of houses on the market and there's very few buyers. So if you're a buyer, you have a ton of inventory and houses to choose from, so you can go out there, you might be able to offer a little bit lower, get yourself a great deal and a great value. Now the opposite is true in a seller's market, meaning the sellers kind of have the upper hand because there's very few homes for sale and there's a lot of demand, a lot of buyers looking for homes, and that's exactly where we find ourselves today in the Reno Sparks area. We have very, very little inventory and we have a lot of buyers that are interested. And why do we have a lot of buyers? Well, there's a variety of reasons. Obviously, we've all seen the news and seen the companies and businesses, getting out of California and other places coming here, but also interest rates. One of the biggest factors as far as affordability of real estate is mortgage interest rates. And if you follow them for any stretch of time, you know that over the last year and a half, they've come down significantly. As a matter of fact, back in late 2018, early 2019, they peaked out, and that was the highest they had been in nearly 9 years, I believe it was. And most people were seeing over 5% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. Well, the market actually slowed down, believe it or not, pretty significantly in late 2018. We were starting to see, inventory build a little bit. People were reducing prices for the first time in quite a while, and sure enough, they cut interest rates to kind of get the economy moving again. And of course, with the pandemic, interest rates are at extremely low, historically low rates, and that's where we find ourselves today. So the demand is created from a variety of reasons, but primarily low interest rates. Now let's talk about the headline that seems to get the most attention around the area. You see this in the news and in the newspapers and on television, whatever, is the median home price. That seems to be quoted all the time as the, sort of a measuring stick, if you will, of our market and the health and how things are doing. And 446,702 was the median price in January, as of the end of January. That is down slightly from right at 450 the month before in December, but it's still up well over 10% from last year, January 2020, where it was at $405,000. Now let's take a look at the real story here. Remember, we went back over here. We have very low supply, tons of demand due to low interest rates, and you can see that right here. 200 homes on the market. I can't even begin to tell you, being in this business for well over 25 years, I have never seen anything like this in terms of inventory. Think about Washoe County, and then obviously these numbers don't include all of Washoe County, but a good portion of it. There's over 400,000 people. 200 homes currently in standing active inventory. In other words, if you wanted to go buy a home, you have 200 to choose from total. I'm talking from Reno, Sparks, all over town. just to show you how extremely low that is, last year at the same time, January 2020, there were 772 on the market. And even last month in December, we had 272. So we're down 26% from last month and down nearly 75% from 2020. So homes are selling rather rapidly, and the reason prices are going up is really, this is a major cause of it. There's just not a lot of active inventory out there right now. If you break it down by price range, just as another thing, I wanted to throw this chart up because this is something that I've never seen before. There's actually on the market today more homes over 1.5 million. Again, over 1.5. Talking about 1.5, 2, 3, 4 million, whatever. Then there are homes in the 3 to 400 range or the 4 to 500 range. So, you know, if you're in this upper end price range, there's a little bit to choose from, but down here, there's very few to choose. I mean, think about this for a second. From between 3 and 400,000, there's 25 homes on the market. Between 4 and 500, there's like 27 or 28. That's it. Active, ready to purchase today. So that's why you're seeing prices go up. Now, there may be a little bit of relief on the way. We're starting to see new listings, and if you look at the market trends, usually in January, listings and sales are down anyways. Now, they're usually not down quite this low, obviously, but January is generally a very low month for inventory. Obviously, we're coming off the holidays, New Year, everything else. It's really cold, it's winter, people aren't necessarily, not thinking about putting their home on the market. But that generally changes usually into January, February, into March when things start to heat up and you start to see inventory, and that's exactly what we're starting to see, which is new listings. You can see it pop up a little bit here. So that is a good sign, and it's actually new listings are 370 new listings in January, which is up nearly 20% from last month, but it's still down almost 21% from last year where we had 474. So down, but certainly headed in the right direction. And even more promising are the numbers in the 3 to 400 with the new listings that are on the market. Now, the downside is when they come on the market, they're selling, but at least we're starting to see them hit the market again. And then, of course, as you see, it starts dropping off inventory, or new listings, I should say, the higher you go in price. Now, let's take a look at closed properties. These are properties that have actually sold, and again, down 33% from last year. Now, an interesting thing happened last year. Well, I think that's the understatement of the night. A lot of interesting things happened last year, but as far as real estate goes, look at that number, 554 sales last month. Well, actually, excuse me, in December. These numbers are through the end of January, remember. So 554 is actually a lot for December. So we're clearly down from that number, down 33%, but only down 5.9, roughly 6% from last year in January. What we saw because of the pandemic is a lot of the sales that would normally take place in March and April and maybe into May didn't take place. And finally, once the end of April into May and June hit, things really started ramping up. So that pent up demand, that sales cycle that would have happened where you had people buying and selling homes in those months during the pandemic when it really got ramped up, that was kind of pushed back to the tail end of the year. And I think that's one of the reasons you're starting to see that inventory issue that we're having now, is because a lot of those sales just took place again back in October, November, and December. So it's going to take a while for people to start cycling through, putting their homes back on the market and get that inventory built up, which is what we're seeing now. And if you break it down by price range, you can see 300 to 500 is where the majority of sales are taking place, which is good. I mean, that's the price range in our market. The 3 to 500 is really where the bread and butter is, where, I guess most, kind of the median where most people can afford homes given the interest rates are at. So there you have it, a quick overview. So a lot of people ask the question, is now the time to sell? And look, we're not a real estate company. I'm not a real estate agent that constantly tells people it's always a good time to sell, because that's not necessarily the case. It really depends on your situation. If you want to talk more about your situation and see if it makes most sense for you to sell now or wait, give us a call. We're happy to chat with you. But as a general rule, now is an awesome time to sell. So in any event, don't go it alone. If you need any help, we are here to help. Again, it's Assist to Sell. And if you want to get more information on your property, feel free to hit that Find Now button. All of our contact information is here. We wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll catch you next month on the Reno Real Estate Market Update Show. Cheers. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Assist to sell way smarter.